Okay, so we're doing a taping now for our knee that has multiple pathologies. Now, sometimes we want to support both the medial and the lateral side of the knee, and that might happen if we have an ACL with an MCL and a meniscus injury and a whole lot of things that all happen at once. Now, I think it's really important that we can support the knee in its entirety. So sometimes that will mean that we need to tape both the outside of the lateral side and the medial side. So to do that, we basically repeat the same process we do for our medial and lateral sides, and we put them together. So we want to think about 2 or 3 fingers above the kneecap. We want to be putting our first anchor, not too tight, but just firm enough that we get a nice good adhesion to the skin, and the same down through the lower leg or calf. Full. Then we want to have 2 X's on each side. On our lateral side of the knee, we're going to create our 1 X, and then we'll do our second X. And what we want to do with this is we want to make sure that we are getting overlapping the tape by roughly 1/3 to 1/2 to get really good coverage over the knee. If we want an extra additional support, we can do some vertical strips to intersect with our X's. Then what we'll do is we'll then go do the same on the medial side. So then, crossing over at the front, we will create our X. And overlapping 50%, we will do our secondary X. Beautiful. And again, if we want any additional support, we'll get a nice vertical strip down the middle. Now, using our 75mm overwrap, we're then going to basically cover and support those X's that we just created. So, around the top, I like to go around the bottom once, sometimes twice, but we want to make sure that we're not using too much tape, that we limit all of the range. Now, I'll just get you to rotate a little bit so we can see what happens on the outside. Around, crossing down, back up till we cover all the loose pieces. You want to make sure you always finish with a horizontal strip, otherwise the tape does have a tendency to rip when we go into playing our sport. And we just want to lock that off nicely with some rigid, and then sometimes I'll even put a secondary lock on the bottom just to make sure we don't get any rippage of the tape. So we've got a nice little kneecap supported in the front, and if we do a little spin, there should be a little window at the back as well. So turning all the way around, there's a bit of a window at the back of the knee to allow it to bend nice and freely. Okay, but that is our medial and lateral support.